finally, we have gotten a proper storyline dealing with the Scarlet Witch, because what we got with the Scarlet Witch in the movies was not nearly as powerful as she is, and we do get a glimpse of how powerful she is in WandaVision, which dropped on the 15th. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure that you check it out. It's on Disney Plus. They show us the first 2 episodes, about 30 minutes apiece, and then from here on out we're going to get, I think, 1 episode a week, about 30 minutes, which is a perfect time for this. So I absolutely love this. I think it's a different take on a superhero movie. I think it's fantastic. And man, let me tell you, I have long since said, I've been saying this, that there's no question that Wanda is the most powerful hero in the MCU. Yes, more powerful than even Thor. I know some people are going to argue, and even more powerful than Doctor Strange. I want to submit she is the most powerful hero in the MCU, and I think Feige is building up that case in WandaVision. So if you've watched it, you're probably very confused, because a lot of people are like, what in the world's going on here? And if you just Google WandaVision, and you'll see that there are tons and tons of theories about what is actually happening in this show. I do have a theory about what's going on here, and I'll share that with you in a second. But first I want to say that I'm so excited that we're doing this, that Disney is doing this. What Disney Plus is doing with these shows is so smart, because it not only broadens the scope of the MCU, but it also gives us closer look and better character development in these different characters in the MCU, so that we don't have to do that or spend our time doing that when we watch them in the movies. And that's what we're getting with WandaVision here. So a lot of people are probably thinking, if you've read the comic, that you see some things here that are reminiscent of House of M. So folks are wondering if it's following that House of M storyline. What I think is happening here is that I think that you're getting a lot of different elements from the Scarlet Witch in this show. So you're getting elements from a lot of different things that have happened to her in the comics, which I think is really good. I think it's also really smart that we don't know what's going on. At this point, everybody is theorizing. So since everybody is theorizing, let me tell you what I think is happening in this show so far. And even I'm not 100%. Here's what I think. I think that Wanda's mind has been co-opted, and I think that someone is studying her. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know if it's AIM. I don't know if it's Hydra. I don't know who that is. I don't even know what time period she's in. Now, if we look at the framework of the show, she's probably somewhere in the beginning to mid 1960s or so, because the show looks to be patterned after the Dick Van Dyke Show, and that show had its run from 1961 to 1966. So somewhere around there in terms of what we see with her in the show. What is the actual date? Well, we don't really know that. And it's a good thing that they are making us think about that. Now, when it comes to Agnes Harkness, I think, is it Harkness? What is? Somebody correct me in the comments, because I always mispronounce her name. Who is an ally to Wanda? I think that Agnes is in this show because she is trying to assist Wanda. I think that she knows that Wanda's in trouble, and she is trying to assist Wanda in dealing with this reality. Now, the question is whether or not this is an alternate reality, or is it the case that, as I said earlier, someone has actually co-opted Wanda's mind? Now, if you don't know much about her, then what she is able to do, or her major power, in my opinion, is not just the chaos magic, but also her ability to warp reality, literally to warp reality. Not what we saw in the MCU, where she was able to get into the heads of some of the Avengers and kind of cause them to think and experience some things that are not there. I mean, literally warp reality. So we don't know what's going on here. We don't know if she's doing this herself. Some people have theorized that maybe she's trying to deal with the traumatic events of what happened in the Avengers movies. We don't know what's going on here. And we get so many different Easter eggs. There's so many different references in these 2 episodes, which I believe are there to make us think, but also to mislead us, to take us down one trail of thought as to what might be happening here, but then kind of switch and give us something different. But my theory is that someone has subdued her somehow, some way, and she is struggling with reality. And this person, whoever it is, has some kind of reason for doing so. And I think that Agnes is aware of that, and she's been able to enter, whether it's the case that Wanda's dreaming or that she's reality warping, but she's been able to enter her state and try and help her with this. It's really interesting also because some people are theorizing that she might be carrying the her children as a result of this. The twins, who I think were, it's Wiccan and Speed, I believe, are the twins that she was carrying. So we'll see if that happens as well. But she certainly looks pregnant in that second episode. So there's a whole bunch going on. Some folks are theorizing that she's moving through time. That's why we see the color change at the end of episode 2 as well. So there's a whole bunch going on here, and it's really, really fascinating to see. And this show, I think, is really going to focus primarily on Wanda. I believe that Disney is doing this show to build her character up because they are going to make her one of the premier characters in the MCU. And I do think that she's going to be the premier female character in the MCU, and we're going to see less and less of what's her name? Captain Marvel in the MCU. I don't think they're going to get rid of Captain Marvel. I think that we're going to just see less and less of her, and they are going to make Wanda the premier character. And that's appropriate to me because she is a beast. If you guys don't know, you're about to find out, because I think that Disney Plus is going to reveal that. So I'm super excited about this series as we go on. I believe we had 2, so it's 8 more series to go. 30 minutes, week by week. Thank God that this is not a bingeable show, but we have to wait week by week. I almost feel like we need to do that because there's so much for us to unpack. So I absolutely love the WandaVision. I'm curious to know what you think about it, what your theories are. We should live stream this. I was watching Comics Explained, and Rob did a really cool live stream where folks were just talking and throwing out theories. That would be a lot of fun to do, so maybe we will do that. But I do plan to cover this show week by week. I do want to say this real quickly because I know things have been intermittent here, and I've given a speech before on the channel, but listen, let me just share it with you again. Just really kind of trying to figure out what to do, what to focus on. There's so much stuff that's coming out now. It's hard to focus on all of it, and I'm really just kind of freeing myself from the burden of it as I do. I am going to talk about what I want to talk about, and at the rate that I do want to talk about. So I'm going to try and get something out once a week, but listen, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Until I can work all of these moving pieces out in my head, I'm just not going to let myself get stressed out about it. But we will be following WandaVision because I'm super interested in that. And there's some other superhero stuff too that I'd like to get into as well on the channel. So what are your thoughts about WandaVision? Have you seen it? What do you think about it? What are your theories about what's going on here? There is a ton to speculate about because the potential, let me tell you something, the potential of what they can do with this character and how it can really open up the MCU, especially from the magical aspect. I know a lot of people are thinking that that's going to come through the window of Doctor Strange, but I think a lot of it can come from what we're getting here in WandaVision is huge. It's huge. And if they maximize her right, she is a beast. A beast. If you don't know, now you know. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video, which is right here. Yeah, somewhere over here. Click that. I'll see you there.